This walk is a daily occurrence for Vunindongolo villagers on Atewa Bay in Vanuatu, the second largest island in the Fiji group. It takes them to their plantations, fishing spots, their livestock, and at the end of the footpath is the old village. Abandoned in 2012 as rising sea level and salinized water tables began to pose a real threat to their very existence.
Vunindongolo villages were moved to the new location on March 19, 2014, one of the most difficult and emotional days for the 142 villagers, having to leave familiar surroundings including the village cemetery.
Sailosi Ramatu has been the village headman for 13 years. Having to carry sick people 2 kilometers to the road and hope for passing vehicles, or being asked to cut an umbilical cord, has all been part of the job for the 55-year-old. The closest medical center, RMNCAH, being some 5 kilometers away.
RMNCAH nursing station is manned by one nurse, who depends on passing vehicles and the bus service to reach the 9 villages and 40 settlements under her care. Of the 2,000 people under her jurisdiction, there are about 500 adolescents and women between 15 and 49 or of childbearing age. Life is just beginning to take shape in the new village, complete with fish ponds and thriving new plantations. Handicraft, root crops and even herbal medicine production are some of the sources of income for the Vunindongolo villagers. And with 5 newborns since relocating, Vunindongolo is now home to 150 people.
We should be talking about climate change and health, and particularly reproductive health. Some of the impacts of climate change are not new, but what is important is that climate change will accelerate and exacerbate the current impact that we are used to. For example, there is a prediction there will be more frequent cyclone and more intensity of cyclones.
In regard to building resilience in the community due to the impact of climate change and global warming, I think faith-based organization has an important part to play. This is a challenge that we are still struggling, we are still wrestling with at the moment, where we can really see to synthesize of faith, spirituality, and the physical existence of people.
The discussions need to happen. However, when we adapt talking about adaptation, we need to anchor the adaptation in finding out the root cause of our vulnerability, and that comes only with a very close consultation, in-depth consultation with the community, and for the community to own the solutions.
And I hope that all faith-based organizations can work on an inclusive theological paradigm within their tradition and see to recognize human beings, to recognize all creatures and give them the respect due to them as God-given. Only then can we recognize and give empowerment to women and children and adolescents, and recognize them not in demarcating them as in that groups, but as fellow human beings.
the reason why UN agencies and intergovernmental organizations such as PrEP are supporting countries to make sure that they have the capacity to be able to start again if there is a disastrous event.
As the villagers settle into their new landscape, Manoa Rokotovitovi, the Village Development Committee chairperson, cites two remaining aspects of their lives that villagers are prioritizing: getting a church built and perhaps a medical facility in the village.
Vunindongoloa will always be a reference point for several aspects of the climate change phenomena in Fiji, as the first village to be relocated by the government because of the impact of climate change.